So Love Good Fats was founded in 2017 by an entrepreneur named Susie York. She was an 11-time Ironman competitor, and so she was really in shape, but she realized that the diet that she had was not really working, which was the carb diet, the sugar diet, basically the standard American diet. And so through her own obsession with working out, with doing the triathlons, and becoming just a world-class athlete, she figured out that a high-fat diet was really the way to go. And so because of that and her lifestyle, she created the brand Love Good Fats. And basically it was a chocolate bar, different kind of treats, nougat, and so forth and so on. And they're really, really delicious, but also high in fat, low in sugar. And basically this was the genesis of the keto diet that was also forming around the same time in 2017. Within 3 to 4 years, she did 100 million in revenue, launching the product into Canada. And then she started launching it in the United States as well. And here we are in 2026, a couple years back in 2024, they basically went bankrupt, they ran out of money, and their assets were bought for pennies on the dollar by another brand, and now they're trying to revive it. So this is the rise and fall of Love Good Fats. So my name is Alex Baer. I'm a CPG entrepreneur. Been doing this for about, almost 12 years. And I created my own brand, Genius Juice, which was a coconut smoothie brand. We were on Shark Tank. We did millions in revenue. Unfortunately, because of a lot of the challenges with this industry, I had to shut it down back in 2024. And so what I do now is I do podcasting, I do YouTube series channels, and I have a lot of fun with it because it's not only about just being entertaining, which I try to be, but also passing on information and education about the consumer packaged goods space and lessons that can be learned behind these rise and fall stories and how to avoid that for yourself. Does that make sense?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So Susie founded this brand at the age of 50, which is a little older than most entrepreneurs are when they start their CPG brand. What was most impressive about it, she started in Canada, which has, as I mentioned in one of our previous episodes with Midday Squares, that there's only about 41 million people opposed to, nearly 400 million in the United States. So it's a smaller market to start in. But one thing that she did right, that I felt was she nailed it, was starting this brand when the trend of keto was really starting to catch on fire. And for those that don't know what keto is, it's basically a diet lifestyle where you are doing intermittent fasting. You do high fat, high protein, and low sugar and low carb. And then your body actually goes into ketosis, which allows you to lose weight and give you a ton of energy. And so she started this brand right around that time when it was taking off. And she, I think, really got the benefit of that because, hey, 3 to 4 years doing 100 million, that's really, really rare. And so she was able to pull that off, and it said in the name, Love Good Fats. And she was a big believer that fats were pure energy, and that was the way to get to your optimal fitness and optimal health. And once she started to launch this product into stores, within literally a year or two, she was the fastest growing keto type product in North America, not only in Canada, but across the United States, if you count the sales that they had and their meteoric rise, where they were doing tens of millions in revenue. In their first couple years, they did about 5 million in revenue, but then it just really quickly took off because the trend was there. People got the product right away, and honestly, it was a great product. It was nutrient dense, didn't have a lot of additives or additional ingredients. It wasn't the cleanest, but it wasn't the worst. But I think the key thing with any product, especially with a keto product that has sweeteners in it, right? Not sugar, but sweeteners, it has to taste good. It has to taste somewhat natural because a lot of other keto products that came out around that time were just literally disgusting. They had a ton of stevia, a ton of monk fruit or erythritol, all these different artificial or natural sweeteners, and they just didn't taste good. And I think Susie was a natural formulator. She was doing Instagram posts, video posts of her in the kitchen, kind of tinkering around with formulas, and she was able to really nail the formulation on this chocolate bar, and that's what really led to part of their success.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
So the next step for them was to raise money. And so in 2020, when they saw that this brand was literally doing 30, 40, 50 million a year in revenue in Walmart, Kroger, Whole Foods, and a lot of other mainstream markets in the United States and Canada, she decided to raise a round, basically a formal Series A. And that was for $10.7 million, and she raised the money from InvestEco, which was a venture firm. I actually know Andrew Heitzman. He's one of the managing partners there, and also Daniel Fairman, a couple others. I don't think he was there at the time when they raised the money, but anyway, they're a kind of a premier venture fund in Canada, and they, along with other investors, took a chance on this brand because they were showing enormous growth, and the trend of keto really matched with the ethos of their product, Love Good Fats, right? High protein, low carb, low sugar, right? And high fat, obviously.
Do you keto, by the way?
So things were looking really good in 2020, but like any rise and fall story, there's always a balancing act, right? When you are doing rapid expansion, when you're raising a bunch of money, when you're investing in R&D, which Susie just really loved to do, and create new products and new SKUs, there's gonna be some deflation with your brand, right? You can't keep it up there forever, and there's gonna be challenges. And I think because she chose to go into these mainstream markets, you're gonna be riddled with chargebacks. And when I say chargebacks, I'm talking about slotting fees. I'm talking about marketing fees, being on promotion. There's also small little nickel and dime fees that happen, you know, for trucking, logistics, working with their warehouses, their fulfillment centers. Trust me, I've been there with Genius Juice. When I launched into Target, when I launched into Albertsons and other stores, Sprouts, Whole Foods, you name it, doesn't matter what retailer. If you launch into a national retailer, they know they kind of got you by the balls, the proverbial balls, and they're gonna charge you for things because that is a profit center for them, and that is a fact. Distributors as well, right? They don't really make a lot of money off the product, right? 10, 15, 20%. Stores, they make, you know, 30 to 40%, but it's really not enough margin for them to operate. So what they do is they have different fees, I call them fees, and different ways to charge the brands to be on shelf. Slotting fees is, as mentioned, probably the most popular, where you pay for every single flavor you put into that store. You have to pay a slotting fee, which could be thousands of dollars per flavor. They also require promotions. So every month, every quarter, you have to submit your promotional schedule and tell them when you're gonna be on promotion. And typically they have fees associated with that. So not only are you paying for the promotion if there's a discount on the product, but you're also paying a fee to the retailer, just maybe a couple cents per bar, whatever it is, per unit, but it still adds up when you're selling hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these bars or whatever product you're selling.
We've been talking to some folks, and we sold a lot of golf balls too.
So in early 2024, there were 3 individuals that decided to buy the assets of the brand because at that point, there was a rumor that they were declaring bankruptcy, Love Good Fats, and they needed to sell off what they had left of the brand. And typically when there's tremendous difficulty and challenges, the brand literally is in debt. And so they close the company, kind of the shell of the company, and then they take the assets, and the assets are then purchased. And so a lot of investors, a lot of companies that are acquiring brands because they acquire the brand for the brand and for their distribution and for their name and for the formula, they're literally just buying that because they don't want to buy the actual company, which is riddled with debt and financial challenges. So that's exactly what happened. And so the 3 people were Patrick Higgins, John Cohn, actually 3 individuals, because 1 woman, and Tammy Eckenswiller. I'm terrible at these names. And so those 3 individuals decided to buy the brand and the assets, and they renamed it as Love Good Foods instead of Love Good Fats. And so they came out with different lines called Love Good and Love Good Protein. It's on their website. They've rebranded it. And again, they went away from this whole mission of just like, you know, low sugar, high fat to a high protein with also low sugar.
Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
I've not had the reformulated product, but one thing with protein products is that it's really hard to nail because protein can be chalky, it can be off-putting, and especially vegan protein, it just sometimes doesn't taste very good compared to like whey protein and milk-based protein. So that's where they are now. Here we are and, you know, going into mid-2026. They were acquired 2 years ago. I don't really see it on the store shelves. Maybe they're just expanding into Canada and keeping it more local, just to keep it under closer control. but they definitely exited out of a lot of their partnerships and stores from what I can see in the United States. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, you can comment on that.
Okay, we are back in business.
The main lessons behind, I think, this entire story is if you're going to expand and go big and fast, into these big retailers, just know there's going to be a lot of different fees. There's going to be financial challenges. There's going to be chargebacks. So you have to make sure that you're properly financed for that. And just know that your margins are going to be cut and compressed, literally when you are going into these huge retailers. So just be well financed. Know going in that you're just not going to be making any money, and it's really a play just to grow your revenue.
What we're talking about is money, real money.
The next lesson is also about the keto diet, which is really a trend. And the trend lasted for about 5 or 6 years. They did significant revenue with that trend, but unfortunately, like any trend, it goes down. So you should really position your brand to be more of a legacy brand, where no matter what, people are still gonna buy it, no matter what trend is going out there or going on out there, no matter what people want. Safe trends are protein. Safe trends are sparkling drinks. I think right now, safe trends are better for you sodas, right? Like Olipop and Poppy. Those are not going away because soda is really a part of our culture, right? And that it's just a healthier reinvention of a popular staple item that's been around for 80 years in our country, right? And worldwide.
This is going to show our competition that we are here to stay.
The last lesson that I would share for this video is just stick to basic food. Basic things that everyone understands, everyone enjoys, and doing a reinvention of that with an improvement on something that's already out there and popular. A modern soda, a better for you chocolate, a better for you protein bar, our energy bar. These are all things that everyone understands, everyone buys, and everyone loves, but they want a healthier, cleaner version of that. So that's it for today. My next episode is going to be a fun one. So it's going to be about a big chain that shut down, and I'm going to be on site at one of their locations that just shut down literally a month ago. It's a very interesting story about $1 billion brand that had to shut down a line of grocery stores across the country. So that's it. Make sure to please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000, not trying to do anything crazy here, but getting to 1,000 is my first kind of happy place here. And please comment, please like, and obviously if any of these facts are wrong, call me out, shout me out in a good way or a bad way. I will not take offense to it. All right? Thanks guys, take care.